We are in downtown Nashville to kick off the Tennessee Knockout with a straight rhythm endurocross. There are 15 of the best riders in the world here, and me. I definitely am going to feel a little bit out of place, but we're about to get practice started, so hopefully I get used to it and have a fun night. Practice started off a little bit shaky, just couldn't quite find my timing, but after a few runs I felt a lot better and ended up 5th in qualifying, so that's pretty sweet going into the final. We're about to start that now. I kind of found a pace I felt pretty comfortable with. I'm probably just going to stick to that and not do anything too crazy and see where I end up. Finished up the night show and it was pretty cool. My first matchup was with Dominique, who I believe is a junior indoor endurocross world champion, so I knew he had some speed. The first run went really well. I was able to beat him there. Then the second one, he had me going into the turn and I had to hit things a little bit harder than I wanted to stay ahead of him, but it was nice to just do 2 runs there. Then the second matchup was against Alfredo Gomez, who is very fast and very tough to beat. Somehow I managed to pull it off the first race, and that kind of put a lot of pressure on me. I'm like, wow, I just beat him, maybe I can do it again, but I just made too many mistakes in my second 2 runs, and he got away. Definitely didn't expect to even go that far, so I was definitely happy with it. Not sure what that puts me overall, but I'm happy to be able to experience this in downtown Nashville. Cool kickoff to the weekend. Now we were down at the Trials Training Center, and we have 2 days to walk the track and watch some of the amateur racing before the pro racing begins on Sunday. The track looks more difficult than last year. I didn't make the main last year, so my only goal is to get in the final. It's not going to be easy, but maybe I'll luck into it, or maybe I'll ride well enough to make it happen. Started out with the hot lap Sunday morning and it was a rough one for me. Came up to the biggest hill on the course and committed to hitting it. There was a guy waiting at the bottom, but I thought he had already messed up and went around for his second attempt, so I thought I could get by him right there. And then as soon as I started going up the hill, there was a bike halfway up the hill. I tried to just splatter over him, but it did not go well. I barely made it past him. Was stuck on a tree, the bike's upside down. I didn't know how I was going to get out of there, and I yanked as hard as I could, slid back down the hill, pumped up like crazy, and just tried to ride it out from there, but made the hill okay the second time and finished. Just wasn't the best way to start the day. Hopefully that gets my arm pump out of the way and it'll be smoother on from here on out.
LeBron and Mario. Look at those legs.
There you go, Keith.
The first long race was a little bit rough for me. There's a lot of slippery, rough single track, and physically I just couldn't hang on for long, couldn't find traction, couldn't find the correct technique, so I struggled in that a bit and then ended up having a pretty good crash that scared me quite a bit. It was kind of a third or fourth gear downhill, cruising before one of the harder sections and just hit a loose rock and it shot me off the trail. I had to ditch the bike and jump off. It could have been really bad. Luckily, I'm okay from it and got the bike back on the trail, but really put myself down physically there and had to slow down after that and just take it easy and make sure I got through the couple hard sections that I remembered. The best part of the race was the rock garden, the waterfall, going up those steps. The crowd really got into it, so I was feeling pretty down until that moment, and the crowd lifted me up, and I think that's going to help me push through this next one. The second race went quite a bit better. Made a couple bike changes, just softened the suspension a bit, and that really helped in the rough stuff. Still struggled a bit trying to go fast. Luckily, I got into fourth pretty early and just tried to maintain a pace that I thought would keep me there. And this year they took 4. Last year they only took 3 out of the 5 per row, so I'm in the main. definitely looked into it a bit. Just gonna try to finish and enjoy the experience.
They're coming. Maybe, let's see. Right there.
Hard enduro is hard. That last lap was just all I had left. Blew a hill, lost 2 places on the last lap. I just could not physically do anything. It was just survival. Those guys are insane. Okay, now that I've had some time to recover, hopefully I can give a better recap of the race. I actually got off to a pretty good start for being on the back row, made some quick passes in the field, and made it up the first big climb, which helped a lot. I found myself following Gomez going into the second lap, so I thought I was in a pretty good spot. But as I came up to the big hill, I heard a ton of noise. I had no idea what was going on, and there were people everywhere going up, down, stuck halfway up, and I tried to get by Taddy as he was coming down, and it threw my run off, so I didn't make it. I think if I would have waited an extra second there, I probably could have made the hill and changed things quite a bit for me. But I thought maybe I could find a way to the top from there, so I threw my goggles off and looked up and just got a face full of roost. That changed my idea quick, so I turned around and headed back down, but had to wait a bit. I did make it, but that exchange really put me down physically, and I was really struggling after that. Pretty much turned into survival mode from there. And the rest of the race, I found myself right around Taddy and Dominique. We went back and forth a few times based on who would get the hills, and the rocks ended up being somewhat easy, but once I was physically drained, they were really tough. I just could not keep my feet on the pegs, couldn't ride correctly, and was just trying to get through there without stopping too much. But going into the last lap, I looked back and had a little bit of a gap on those guys, and I thought if I got the hills, I could stay in the position I was in. I blew the first hill, the first try, and it took me a second try to get, but I was still ahead of them. But when I got to the top of that hill, physically, I was just done. My body was drained. It was telling me to stop. Took it really easy on the downhill, hoping I'd get the next hill, and I blew that one too, and that's when they got by me. the second ride up the hill, I would love to see a video of that because it felt like I had about the strength of 2 fingers. I could not keep my feet on the pegs, could not steer the bike. It was a horrible feeling. It was everything I had to just hold on, and somehow I got up there, but it wasn't pretty. And then from there on out, I really had to take it slow on the rocks to make sure I didn't crash. Stopped a few times to try to catch my breath, but really it was just survival mode to try to get out of there. Overall, it was a really cool experience just to ride with those guys and be in the same race as the world's best, but I'm a little bit disappointed in my physical ability. Just it doesn't feel like I've come around too much to the endurance side of things, so need a lot of work there. I have to give a huge thanks to Factory One Sherco for this opportunity and for all the support over the weekend. They went above and beyond for all the riders, and it was really cool to be a part of. I'm happy I could put another Sherco in the main.